It's been a week since a major earthquake affected Myanmar and neighbouring areas, killing more than 3,000 people and causing widespread damage. Myanmar's second largest city, Mandalay, bore the brunt of the 7.7 magnitude quake, resulting in the ruling junta appealing for international help.
Well, several governments and NGOs have responded to the call, providing rescue services and humanitarian aid. The disaster occurred against the backdrop of a civil war that the junta is fighting against several rebel groups since it seized power over 4 years ago. Well, joining us now is former Australian Human Rights Commissioner Chris Sidoti. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us this morning.
Good morning, Fausia.
Chris, it's very rare that the junta would actually allow foreign personnel to enter the country, but after the appeal from the military leader, we're now seeing this aid come in. However, there are allegations that the military is also restricting aid to affected areas. What will be the reasoning behind this?
The reasoning is because the military simply doesn't want aid to get through to areas controlled by the resistance. And the military has shown over the last 20 years, this is not the first time, that it misuses aid. It tries to use catastrophes like this as opportunities. And we can go back as far as the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004 to see the same kind of thing occurring. So for the military, every catastrophe is an opportunity to favour its own supporters, to favour the military in particular, but also to penalise those that oppose it.
Now, the extent of the damage, of course, we know is widespread. Mandalay, we know, bore the brunt of it. What do we know about the areas outside of the city centre?
Not very much. The military controls the central part of Mandalay, but even some of the outer suburbs are controlled by the resistance. And once you move north into SAC-M, another large city, a central part of another district, the information we have is much more limited. So the fears are that the death toll, which currently stands at just under 4,000, will rise substantially before the clean-up is completed.
That being the case, before the quake, we also know that Myanmar had been experiencing economic decline. We know that Myanmar is basically a black hole when it comes to the media. Nothing goes in, nothing really comes out. And that's because of the junta's control over the country. I wonder, though, now that we're seeing this engagement with foreign elements, we're talking about humanitarian aid, of course, do you see this changing in the future?
It hasn't in the past, and so we can only be pessimistic about the prospects now. The number of foreign aid workers who have been able to get in is very small, and the military has controlled their access very carefully, so that we know that the foreign aid, the emergency response teams, are only coming from around about 4 or 5 countries, and not from the countries that traditionally provide the largest number of rescue teams. So it's limited. It's restricted very much to military-controlled areas, which means that the resistance-controlled areas, making up around 80% of the country, are at this stage not getting international relief at all.